Good afternoon, Your Excellency, Mr. President of UNGA, Abdullah Shahid. Thank you for the opportunity and your time for youth and climate.
Thank you. It's a great pleasure.
As you know, numerous countries have been affected by climate change. According to the World Economic Forum, by 2050, about 80% of these countries will be underwater, including Maldives and Bangladesh. And Bangladesh recently have been doing a lot of initiative to combat the climate change on a local level by transforming to green energy and hydrogen gas. So do you think this is the only way forward by working on a local level?
It's not the only way, but this is the correct way. Change, if you really desire, should start within. Should start at the individual, family, local, national and international. And that is what Bangladesh and Maldives and many other countries are doing. At an individual level, one should always ask oneself, what can I do to contribute to saving this planet? Because we are all part of it. Unless individually you can't commit yourself to save the planet, then you have no right to ask others to do so. And that is what I like about many countries, where young people are coming out, young people are voicing their concern, and they march, they demonstrate, but at the same time they have the commitment to change how people live, how we live, and how individuals manage their lives. And unless you can do it, we will not be able to save the world.
For youth, what do you think that how can we incorporate, what the UN can do to incorporate climate change education in the curriculum around the world, so the young people, the young generation, they grow up understanding climate change?
Today the world has 1.8 billion youth. This is the largest youth population humanity has ever known. And this 1.8 billion youth are going to inherit world as it would be tomorrow. They should have the opportunity in the school curriculum, in their everyday life, in their dealings with each other, to understand how individual actions are impacting climate change. And that opportunity should be provided. Otherwise, we will have 1.8 billion youth tomorrow who are adults, who will have no idea about how to deal with our Mother Earth, the planet.
Have the UN Common Agenda, and Commitment 11 says that listen and work with youth. So how is your office and your leadership will move that commitment forward?
I came promising a presidency of hope. A presidency of hope for everyone, including the youth. One of my highest priorities is to engage with the youth. I have instituted a youth fellowship program in my presidency, whereby I want to give opportunity for young diplomats from underrepresented countries to come and work with me here at the United Nations. That opportunity I want to provide because I believe that for multilateralism to survive, we need the trust and confidence of the youth in multilateralism. They will not be able to get it unless they get to see how it is functioning, how we succeed, how we fail. That basics should be ingrained in the youth of today. I'm also making it a point during my travels overseas. In every country I go, I meet the youth, both women and girls and boys. I meet them, with them, I listen to them because I want to educate myself. I want to understand what the youth wants. Unless I and others in leadership position can listen to youth, we will not be able to make decisions with their concerns in. And that is what I'm doing. During my recent travel to Dubai, to the Maldives, and to Belgrade, I met with young people, I listened to them, and I came back to New York much more educated, much more aware of the issues that the youth of today are concerned about.
How about young women under 30? Do you encourage them to run for office as well?
This time during the high-level week, we had 194 statements delivered from the rostrum of the United Nations. Guess how many women?
18.
18 women. And that is unacceptable. We should have more women around the table. We should give more opportunity for women in dialogue, in negotiations, and in positions of power. Unless we can bring the 50% of mankind who have been sidelined for so many millennia back to the table, give them an equal opportunity, we will not be able to succeed in our sustainable development. It would take 135.6 years, according to the current trajectory, to reach gender parity. And that is not acceptable. We should make sure that it happens much more quickly, because humanity requires that. Humanity requires the input of women and girls as well as men and boys. We complete humanity. We can't have half of humanity sidelined, and that will not work.
Last question is, I actually received this question from youth in civil society. A lot of the youth don't have access right now to the United Nations, and they are working for the SDGs around the world, and they have been, the lockdown and staying home. It affected a lot of them mental health and their well-being. So, Mr. President, what would be your advice to lift them up?
I'm working on it. You would recall that 75th session of the General Assembly, we had to completely shut down the General Assembly. Yes. And other councils of the United Nations system and the Secretariat. But we are cautiously opening up. We have held a very successful high-level week with over 58% of speakers in person. We were able to do it with vaccination and proper protocols. At the same time, we have to be very, very careful in how we progress. The role of civil society at the United Nations is important, and I am fully committed to make sure that I engage with the civil society and I open up opportunities for the civil society as soon as I can. And I'm working closely with the Secretary General to make sure that we do it quickly.
Thank you so much for your time, Mr. President, and it was really amazing speaking to you. It's a great honor. I'm Nishat Mirza from Turkish Journal.